Hello there, and welcome back to Szpakowo. So, it's September, and I've been really excited to record this episode for the entire day because I feel like in this episode we are going to finally be able to harvest our sunflowers, sell them for the VIP order, and get the income to completing that level. And then we're going to be able to buy that big field next to our current wheat field, or our rice field that had wheat in it, because I forgot to switch the crop in the seeder, and finally start setting up our farm over on that field. First things first though, for September, let's take a look at contracts to see if there's anything we can complete to get us a little bit of extra money. Looks like we don't have any harvesting contracts. Got a big lime contract over on field 247, so I'm gonna take that because that'll be a nice little earner for us. What else do we have under lime here? We've got 44 over on that corner of the map. I don't really want to go all the way over there. So 44, and where's the other one? It says 247, and then 44 is literally the opposite corner of the map. Yeah, I think I'm going to pass on that. So let's jump in our tractor and pick up our spreader, and we'll go take care of field 247. And then we might look at selling maybe the production over there, the preserved food factory, maybe the maintenance workshop, in preparation for moving to the bigger field next month. But we will see. Let's find the tractor. We'll jump in the tractor. We'll get back over to our farm and switch out the tools. And then we will continue with the liming. I will see you in a bit. Okay, so we are done liming this rather odd shaped field for our neighbour. We used 1.5 bags of lime, and we've just made ourselves a nice 12,000 euros. So it puts us on roughly around 50,000 and an extra 12,000 towards our big move to the bigger field next month. So let's top up the lime here. We'll pick up the bag and we will collect the contract. Oops, didn't mean to drive on the neighbour's field there. I'm sure they didn't see, and if they did, it wasn't me. Okay, so let's switch off the tractor, take a look at the contract, and I've just realised something. I was making a big fuss last month about the growth not showing in this field before we harvested it, or in the last episode rather, and I've only just realised that I had all the crops switched off except for sunflowers. I'll learn the intricacies of this game one day. Okay, back over to our contracts. We'll collect this contract, so 12,200. Has anything else come in since we have been away? There's a cultivating contract that is literally right next to our farm, so I think we'll take that and knock that out for David here. So yeah, really trying to just get as many contracts done as we can for next month when we switch out to the new field, because I'm sure there's going to be expenses that I haven't accounted for that are going to be required in setting up our new field. Just want to make sure we are making ourselves as much money as possible before we make that move. Anyways, I will get the cultivating contract finished, and then I will rejoin you after. Okay, so we are approaching completion on this field and we're running low on fuel, so it's been bleeping at me for the last few minutes and I was wondering if I'd have enough left to get this field done, but it looks like we do. So we'll fold up the cultivator, we'll quickly throw it on the floor in our farm, and we'll dive over to the fuel station and whoa, it's a little rear heavy, and we will fuel up and then take a look to see if there's anything else we can do in September. Okay, so we are refueling our tractor. We made it over to the fuel station without running out. I never know how empty the gauge gets before the tractor actually runs out. I have a feeling it's not completely empty because I'm sure I've played before where the tractor actually stops when it's almost empty but not quite there. Anyways, let's take a look at our contract again. We will collect this contract. It's another nice 4,000 or so. We'll take another look to see if anything else has come in that we want to do. Doesn't look like it. No. So let's skip through to October and I will see you there. Okay, so it is October and our sunflowers look like they are ready to be harvested, which is fantastic. So first of all though, let's take a quick look in the discount store just to see if anything that is of use to us has come up. It doesn't look like it. So let's jump in our harvester. We've already got the corn header attached by the looks of it. And let's harvest our sunflowers. I wonder how much yield we'll get out of this field. It's not a terribly big field. In fact, it's pretty small actually. Definitely hoping we get the 1200 litres we need to complete the VIP order. I think we will, but we will see. So I will get this done and I will join you once we're complete. Okay, so we are almost done harvesting this field and I think we filled up the silo. So the harvester stopped emptying halfway through and I realized that we have a considerable amount of wheat in our silo from last month. So yeah, we don't have any more space. However, I think this might work out perfectly because we need 3,000 litres of sunflowers for our VIP order. And we're going to have about 3,100 or so, yeah, 3,100 litres in our harvester. So this actually works out perfectly because I can just grab the tractor and the trailer. I can empty this load into the trailer and take it straight over to the sell point and then keep the rest of the sunflowers for when they hit their premium sell price. So yeah, I think that worked out just perfectly. Let's get these unloaded and we can figure out where we need to take them. So sunflowers, they're going over to Henrik's SP. That's the place that's just behind the vehicle store, so very close by. Alright, what is our tip side? Our tip side is the right, so let's dump off these sunflowers. And there we go, we can see the VIP order. Level 2 has completed. And we now have a very healthy amount of money. So 126,709. Let's switch off the engine for a second. And first of all, let's take a look at VIP order level 3. So we have 20 cows, which are going to take quite a while to obtain. We have 9,000 litres of sorghum, which is definitely achievable. We can plant a field of sorghum next season. We have some silage, which when we buy that big field, we're definitely going to be able to achieve that. We have wheat, which is going to be easy enough, and we have honey, which will also be easy enough. So the hardest thing about this level of VIP order is the cows, because we're going to need a fair amount of prep to build a cow barn, and we need to ensure that we have total mixed ration. The inputs for that are grass, hay and silage. So we're going to need all of the tools to be able to cut grass and prepare silage and hay, which is going to take a little while. But that's okay, because we can expand into that big field, and that is a field full of grass anyway, so that will help us achieve our goals. So for now, let's get back to the farm and we'll take a look at contracts to see if there's anything we want to complete before we purchase that big field and start to set up our farm over there. Okay, so we are back at the farm. Let's switch off the tractor, jump into our menus, and first of all, let's take a look at contracts. So we have a big cultivating contract, which I'm not going to entertain because that will take us too long. What do we have in terms of harvesting? We have a nice sized soybean contract there. That will be nice to take care of for an extra 11,000 plus a bunch of soybeans. Anything else? And we have a rather large lime contract, 2 fields over from the soybean contract. Looking to what other lime contracts we have. We also have that lime contract just over there. I think all 3 of these contracts might be worth doing, because we need to buy a substantial amount of equipment once we've purchased that new field. We need a mower, both front and back. We need a wrapper for the bales. We need a tedder for the grass. I think that's everything. We'll also need to rebuy all the buildings that we have in our current field. And when we sell them off, they are not going to be worth as much as we paid for them. So we do need quite a bit extra than the 105,000 or so the field is for. So given that, I'm going to take this lime contract. I am going to take this harvesting contract, even though it will take a while to do. And I'm going to take this large lime contract also. So we're going to grind these out, and then we're going to purchase our field. Now let's think about how we're going to approach this. We'll do the smaller lime contract first, and then we'll come back to the farm. We will... trying to think how we can get the trailer over to the field at the same time as the spreader, because both of those larger contracts are quite close to each other. Let's go do the small field, and we will figure that out. I do anticipate these being the last contracts we do for a little while, and hopefully with the proceeds of this and the proceeds of selling some of the buildings we have on our current field, we should be able to afford a mower and a bale wrapper. And once we've done that, we can wrap the grass bales we get off that big field that we buy. They can be fermenting into silage, and then come winter time, when they reach a good selling price, we will be able to earn a significant amount of income from them. That seems like a good plan to me. So let's quickly take care of this field, and I'll do a skip to when it's complete. This is not time-lapse worthy, as it's not going to take very long at all. Okay, so that is the smaller field lined. Let's get back over to the farm. We can top up with lime, and we can figure out how we're going to get this equipment over to the big field. Oh no, this is working. And we'll quickly hook up to the trailer. It's a struggle. It's struggling to drive. There we go. Alright, let's head over to those fields. We probably can't see a thing out the front, but that's okay. We're farmers, we can get away with it. So we'll head over to the field that needs the lime application, and we might need to come back and come back to the store and get some more lime, because we only have about 2,500 litres here. Don't know if that would be enough to do that big field, but we will see. We'll just take a little dive down here and we'll say hello to what is soon to be our new field here on the left. Look, it's even got a nice little pond behind it. This is our future home. Oops, getting excited about our future home and I missed my turning. It's round this way. So it is field 107. And it is 109 is the lime field. Now it's a fairly thin field, so we might be able to get it done with what we have here. We will see. So let's go. We can follow the tram lines. I'm pretty sure that this is the line that we're supposed to be following. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to get this liming done, and then I will make a start on harvesting field 107, and I will come back to you once we've made a little bit of progress. I will see you soon. Okay, quick check-in with an update. We have limed the big field and we are about halfway around our second lap of the headland of the soybean harvesting contract. There seems to be some kind of bug with the GPS steering. The lines aren't disappearing when you activate it, even though if we look in the menus it says show lines are on, but the hide lines automatically are also on, so I don't know what's happening there. Just another one of Farming Simulator's quirks. let's call them quirks, shall we? And so this is probably going to take a little while to get completed. Fortunately, it's a simple shaped field, and I feel like once we've done the headland and we make dents on the infield, the rest of it will get completed fairly quickly. We're already 30% done, so we're making good progress. I will continue on, and I will come back to you once we have made some more progress. Okay, so quick update. The trailer is almost full. We're not going to fit another harvester load in here, so once we've reached the end of this row, I'll let the AI continue on, and I will deliver this load of soybeans over to Szpakowo, which is just over there, and then we will come back and take over from the AI worker for the harvesting. So yeah, 19,000 litres in the trailer, and we've probably got 6 to 7 more rows to do, so 48% complete with the harvesting. Got about 32% to go with the harvesting, and then we just have to deliver the soybeans. I think one more trip over to the delivery point will do it for the trailer, and then we can look at buying our big field and setting up our own operation. Okay, so here we are over at Szpakowo, trying not to lose control of the tractor. And let's get this all offloaded. Oh, just trying to be a little too fast around that corner there. Okay, so we're offloading the soybeans. Let's see how much this considers complete. 60% of the product has been transported, so let's get back over to the field and we will re-empty. Should we re-empty the harvester? Probably not worth it. I think one pass up and down is just over one harvester load, so we can leave the trailer at the top of the field. We can go all the way back down in the harvester, and then when we're on our way back up, when we get to about 85%, we can pass it over to the worker, quickly empty the harvester into the trailer, and then take over from the AI worker again. We'll do that 2 to 3 more times, and that should be the field complete. So we'll take over from the AI worker again, and we'll put the steering assist back on, and away we go. So I'll rejoin you probably at this point once the entire field has been harvested and we're taking the final load over to Szpakowo. I will see you in a bit. Okay, so we are approaching the end of this final row of this rather large field. We have an additional 12,000, probably 700 or so litres, in addition to the 19,000 litres we already delivered. So once this row is complete, I will drive over to Spactrans in the tractor, and we will let the harvester rest for a little bit. So there we go, that's it, we are complete. So we have 8% of the contract to do. Now I'm wondering how much of the product we're going to be delivering. As always, I didn't make any estimates in my head of how much we'll get to keep, because I don't want to be disappointed. But whatever it is, we'll be able to save it for when the premium price for soybeans is, which I think, based on our own harvest, is June time or somewhere like that. Oh, let's do this from the grain door, just so that we can save as much as possible. This might take a little while to unload because the grain door's fairly slow. 92, there we go. Okay, so almost 3,000 litres for ourself. That's a reasonable amount. And we'll just check the sell price very quickly, because you never know when the best price for selling is going to be. So soybeans down here, yeah, June is the best sell price for soybeans. And I just saw that we have some canola. So the best sell price for canola is November, next month. We'll have to remember to offload that, because that'll be another nice 4,000 or so, 2,600, 5,200 actually. We have almost 4,000 litres there, so an extra 5,000 towards building up our new farm and new field. And also we'll probably be able to offload the straw for an extra 3,500 next month. So that will be a good time to do that. And then just looking at the sunflowers, when is the best time to sell sunflowers? At the moment it's about 300 euros off of its max price. So let's take a look at sunflowers quickly. Yeah, it's March, but we're not too far off of its best price at the moment. So we'll head back over to the... Now where are we going to take this? Because our grain silo's full. I think what we'll do is we'll get back over to our rice field. That's where we can keep the tractor trailer and the harvester until we find somewhere more permanent for it, because I don't think we'll be using it anymore this year. Well, not the harvester anyway. And then when we buy the new field, the first thing we'll do is buy a bigger silo if we have enough money. Or no, the first thing I want to do is buy a mower and a bale wrapper. Oh, we will see. I'm trying to think about it, and I'm very clearly overthinking it. So I will see you back at the field when we're ready to make the purchase. Let's park up our header trailer. We'll just park it back where we got it from, and we'll move it a little bit past the bales, because I know we're going to need them next month. So we'll switch off the harvester, and the tractor can stay there for a minute. So let's collect these 3 contracts. 1, 2, 3. How much money do we have? 152,000. That's not bad. So the land area is 4.45 acres and the field area is 3.41 acres. So if we look at the field area and the land area, okay, so we can see the land goes right up to that stream or river that flows through. So we even have a few trees here that we can chop down. Now I know that would ruin the landscape a little bit, so I might leave those for a while, but they would certainly be quite profitable. Look at those big giant trees. 4.9 meter diameter, 0.7. Yeah, definitely some profit to be had from those trees if we decide to chop them down. Let's go into the farmland and let's buy this field. it is officially ours. I've wanted this since I spotted it, since I first came over here to do that contract. I felt like this was a perfect location to expand our operation. And as I mentioned before, my plan eventually is to buy also this field and make it into like a sales point area, so we can produce all of our products, just drive them across this piece, this river or the stream here, and sell them over there. What is next for us? What I would like to do is buy a mower. So let's go into the store. Now, what do we have in terms of mowers? So really what we're looking at is this class disco. We would also need the front mower to go with that. Now, does this have a windrower? I think it does. Yeah, I think it does. Now, does this have windrowing capabilities? I think it does also. And this is the one where I'm not sure if it cuts in the middle, isn't it? Yeah, so we need 46,500 plus 22,500. This one I know definitely doesn't have windrowing capabilities, so I'm not going to entertain that. What's this one here? So 6.3. I don't think that has windrowing capabilities, but looking at it, yeah, I don't think it does. It'd be really nice if there was some more information available saying whether they do have windrowing capabilities or not. So let's go into our build menu, and what I'm going to do, I think, is come over here and I'm going to offload a couple of buildings. I'm going to offload this production because we're not going to use it anymore. Okay, so that gets us 17,000 extra, so we'll get rid of that. And now we have enough to afford the rear mower. What I think I'm going to do is buy the class disco, and we'll have to go without the front mower for now. Although, thinking about it, we could go with the cheap front mower. We don't necessarily need to get the same one, do we? So we could go with this, and then we could just go with the very cheap front mower, because the rear mower will take care of the windrowing. So that will be that. I do want to ensure that this mower can actually do windrows, because if it can't, then it's no good to us. I think it can, looking at it, but let's see. So we're going to pick this up. That leaves us just under 16,000, so we can't buy the bale wrapper just yet. So, in that case, what can we do in terms of contracts? I don't really want to be doing contracts at this point, but if it means we're going to be able to afford the bale wrapper rather than wait for it, it might be worthwhile. We'll go do this lime contract very quickly over in field 14. We'll have to go get some lime from the store, then we'll be able to afford the bale wrapper. So let's do that very quickly. I know it's getting dark, so it's not ideal, but... Okay, so we finished that lime contract, and we are over at the store. Here's our mower. It's absolutely gigantic. Wow. So let's first of all collect the contract. So we have 20,000 now. And let's drop off the spreader. And let's connect up to the mower and see if it does windrow. Toggle work mode. Swath dropping. Absolutely fantastic. So this is our new mower. So what we will do next then, let's take a look at the bale wrappers. Yeah, I think we'll probably end up going with this bale wrapper, but we will wait until next month to do that, just in the minute chance that something comes up in the discount store. The only thing with this is it's going to be slightly inconvenient, hooked up to either the front or the rear of our tractor, because every time we wrap a bale we're going to have to reverse and go forward and reverse and go forward to kind of catch it and move it out of the way, whereas with a towed bale wrapper it kind of sits off to the side of the tractor, so it's not quite as inconvenient to use. Now, having said that, it's very unlikely that the exact piece of equipment we're looking for is going to appear in the discount store, but we can hope. So I think this is a great place to leave this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're enjoying following along. If you are, of course, please do leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. And I will be back tomorrow for the next episode, where we'll be mowing our grass, taking care of the lime in that field we just bought, and starting to hopefully set up our farm on the new field. So until then, bye for now.